Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, broadly from the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just another lesson through the spirit from Natural News. Misstated Summer of Chaos. Eco-terrorist plan, massive civil disobedience campaign, complete with highway blockages and disruptions at federal properties. I remember that I mentioned briefly about this article roughly last week when I went into a lesson going into the different judgments that's going to befall Babylon, but didn't really get too much into it. But this was rather interesting, okay, because, going into these migrants or these immigrants, whatever you want to call them, migrants, I say it that way, that has protruded across the border due to Title 42 being exhausted. A lot of them are over here for purposes to get a living, an honest living. A lot of those people, they need help, you know what I'm saying? And they're looking just to live honest lives. But then among those, of course, you're going to have moles, agents, sleeper cells, particular troops. And the report came out allegedly that a lot of these migrants, and we've said it, I went into it like 2 months ago, but a lot of these migrants of fighting age, and allegedly they're being trained at these UN internment camps for the hour of martial law, okay, because they're expecting civil disobedience due to this economic collapse that's on the horizon, you see, and the doing away of the dollar, which is going to lead to the economic collapse, and, just all this, the various laws that Esau Edom is passing and taking away the rights and spending billions of dollars on unnecessary shit, versus the homeless population. You spending billions of dollars on Ukraine. You spending millions of dollars in aid to make protected classes out of unprofitable citizens. And yet you have over billions of dollars in people that's homeless, okay, they can't find a home. It's backwards, man. But it says the leaders of Extinction Rebellion XR and various other European eco-terrorism groups are planning a summer of chaos in the United States this year, complete with the large-scale civil disobedience campaign under hunger strikes, road and highway blockages, and disruption of federal properties. It says to make their voices heard and presence seen in opposition to global warming. But Europe's top climate activists are expanding their United States-based franchise known as Declare Emergency, which aims to spread mayhem across the pond from Europe to America. Scripture say when judgment should come upon it on all sides, remember? But in a video conference, European eco-terrorists taught their U.S. counterparts how to raise money in order to raise hell, going back into those BLM riots, okay, those Marxists, and we call them George Soros riots, but when you look up what a Marxist is, it'll tell you. But even then, they had ads put out on Craigslist and particular ads on social media paying people up to $1,500 a day to go start shit or to engage in civil disobedience. Okay, forklifting bricks in front of stores in Jake's neighborhoods, spray paint, bottles, and so forth. They basically provided them the tools to destroy their cities. You see, all the psyop. But Salak, I lost my place. Yep, but it says to raise money in order to raise hell, and as a way to boost membership while recruiting hordes of arrestable, quote unquote, new members to serve as frontline soldiers in a more aggressive protest. And we told you that these protests are going to become more deadly. Okay, they're going to become more violent. Okay, more people are going to get hurt. So eventually gunshots are going to be let off, which would justify Esau on putting you down. It says tens of thousands of protesters have already been successfully rallied in Europe to bring entire cities to a standstill, resulting in $1 million of losses. But their goal is to spread this same fervor in the U.S., which saw similarly chaotic unrest following the George Floyd psyop. And so what we want to do is create a large civil civil disobedience campaign on the climate catastrophe in the United States. Okay. But it says, what's the point of eco-terrorism again? But it said it's not enough to simply throw paint on artwork and block traffics in places like Netherlands and France. But the goal is to spread the same kind of nonsense to America in protest of oil usage, which will keep the world going. It says climate terrorists believe that oil is bad, even though everything they do as part of their protests is rely on oil. It says that protesters clothes they wear, and the cars and airplanes they use to travel, the chemical-based paint they smear all over Van Gogh, and all of it is either made from oil or made from machines that rely on energy produced by oil. But nevertheless, the plan is to spend millions of dollars and recruit thousands of people to raise hell across America this summer. Hopefully. It says a dark winter was not enough. It says now that they want to create a dark summer too under the guise of saving the planet from climate change. Like we've been telling you, man, Esau been having his hand in this shit since the beginning. Ever since the time of the Romans, you had what they call false flag attacks. Okay, like when Nero burned down Rome and blamed it on the Israelites, that was all staged, man. Because even though he burnt it down, who did they put the blame on? Us. Okay, and this is nothing different because they need a reason to bring in order out of chaos. Okay, so this is the book of Matthew 24, and I'm going to start at verses 5. It says, and Yahushua answered and said it to them, take heed that no man deceive you. It says, for many should come in my name, saying that I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see that ye are not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay, civil war, world war, proxy wars. Okay, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. I mean, you're seeing this play out on a massive scale, from the war in Ukraine to NATO getting drug in it to America. Okay, to the point of evacuees. America, I believe, is talking about evacuating their citizens out of Taiwan now because of the impending war, the nuclear talks. Okay, because nuclear war is coming to this place, brothers, man. Okay, it says kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, man. Okay, but the point for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, civil war. Okay, because matter of fact, let's look this up real quick. Let's go back here. Slovakia. What are the chances of another civil war in the U.S.? See what it says. It says, is the U.S. headed towards another civil war? And this was back in 2021. It says the plurality of Americans, 46%, believe in a future civil war. So that's almost half. And I'm pretty sure it's increased by then because that was 2 years ago. Okay. It says, is the U.S. headed towards another civil war? More than 40% of Americans think a civil war is likely in the next decade. That's a big number. So that's almost half the citizens that believe in some form or fashion that a civil war is on its way. Okay. And it is going to come because, I mean, look at all the fucking legislation. Look at the rulership. Look at everything is out of course. Look at the inflation. Okay, they getting ready to go up on rent again, I believe 4%. But yet wages are remaining stagnant. People, they're at the point like they're not dealing with it anymore. Okay, because America is fucking, it's how can I say, it's divided as it is. Okay, Edomites are against Edomites. And I mean, the whole scriptures say that if Satan casts out Satan, how could his kingdom stand? You see, Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, the burden of Egypt. It says, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, which is a chariot. It says a swift cloud. And it says, and shall come into Egypt. And it says, the idols of Egypt shall be moved at its presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Okay. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor. City against city and kingdom against kingdom, man, okay? That's a civil war. I mean, you're going to have people from opposing cities and states, people from opposing towns. Gladstone, Missouri into it with Kansas City. Lee Summit, Missouri is into it with Independence. Fucking Raytown into it with Grandview. Fucking Overland Park into it with Leawood, Kansas. There's going to be some shit out here, man. And all these crackers out here, they packing. Every last one of them. Okay, Jake is packing too. But it ain't gonna go down like that. And it says city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fell in the midst thereof, and I would destroy the counsel thereof. Okay, the counsel, your sorcerers, the witchcraft, okay, your groups that you go to and consult for wisdom, all that's gonna perish, man. Okay. And it says, and they should seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards, man. Okay, because you're not gonna get an answer as to why these endeavors are happening or are taking place, because the prophets that we've already told you why all hell is breaking loose on your world, because you are living in wickedness, man. Okay, and it's nothing you can do to change it. 2 Ezra 8 and 50, it says here, for many great misery should be done to them that in a latter time should dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Okay, great pride. And we're in the month of what? Pride month. It says, but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Okay, that's why we seek for common men that think like us. For the other, for the men of the Lord, this is why we waking or going to the hopeful elect. It says, for unto you is paradise opened, and the tree of life is planted, and the time to come is prepared, and plenteousness is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom, perfect in its perfection. Because here is totally wickedness and chaotic, man. Okay, and there's no end of it in sight until the Lord really comes back and destroy this damn place, man. You see, 2 Ezra 16, and I'm gonna start at verses 16 and 17. It says, woe is me who would deliver me in those days. And the elder Yahshua quoted that. Okay, he said he saw the martial law, he saw the Jacob's trouble, and he said it put him in tears. It was that bad. He said Jake was trying to gun it out with these people, but Jake just didn't have no hope, man. They didn't have the Lord, so they was fighting a losing battle. That's how bad it's gonna get out here, to the point they was making sport of our people. Because Jake, the Lord is not with him. Okay, and that's our only defense, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, and the beginning of famine and great death. It says great death. Okay, a lot of these bummer-rights are getting ready to die out here. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, but what should I do when these evils come? Okay, this is a question. And we ask ourselves this all the time. Me, I'm like, damn, if I'm feeling fucked up in the body, no matter how much shape you appear to be in and how healthy you are, it's like, shit, man, you feel fucked up. JB having gallbladder issues, man, digest, all types of shit. And the pain you are in, it's like, goddamn, how the hell am I going to survive in a civil war? But the Lord is going to renew us, man. And you got to believe that. Okay, we're not going to be left in this condition, paralyzed and handicapped while this world is going into shit. As this world crumbles, the Lord is going to renew our strength. And I believe that. And the scriptures say that. So hold on, brothers. Healing is coming. All right. But it says, behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. But for all these things, they should not turn from that wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges, man. Okay. So yeah, great civil disobedience is coming to America, man. Okay, thus says the Lord. Going back into this article here, it says the group hosts to stage many more scenes all summer long across the country in order to make people's lives as miserable as possible, while screaming and wailing about how oil needs to go away if the planet is to stay cool enough for survival. But other such as stunts staged by these eco groups, including planting trees in Parliament Square, supergluing themselves to gates of Buckingham Palace and other major landmarks, vandalizing artwork of major galleries, and even shutting down runways used by private jets. It says declared as demanding that fake president Jim Crow Joe declare a national climate crisis, which will allow him to use his executive powers to put an end to all Earth-based fuel production and use. Were this to occur, the American economy will come to a screeching halt, resulting in a total collapse of tens of millions of deaths. All right. It says to learn more about the impending summer of chaos, visit chaos.news. I'm going to check that out. But anyway, I'm going to end it there, brothers, giving out praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. And with that, Shalom and Abba.